Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new video. Today let me quickly shrink this and put this up here. Today I am going to go over the why and the how behind booking over 1,000 meetings in the last 12 months alone. Before we dive in, if you don't know who I am, my name is Sven. I am the co-founder at Blinked. Together with my other co-founder and our team, we help software development companies. Let's just put it to increasing revenue and booking more meetings to keep it in the subject of this video. So before we get into what is wrong with a lot of people doing outreach, I kind of want to, and by the way, of course, what is the right way and the proper way to do it and to actually get results, I think it's good to dive into a few core principles. Because what you've seen over the past few months and years is that a lot of people rely on personalization of emails, which is not bad, but it is, some people see it as the silver bullet to fixing all of their problems. And no one really cares about personalization, especially if you do it on like the freaky way. I've gotten emails, and maybe yourself as well, and I know people that stalk your Instagram or something and like pick out really personal stuff that you shouldn't leverage within doing business. And on top of that, it's also like if your message is relevant and hits at the right, like if a company is in a certain scaling stage or whatever, if your value proposition hits that stage, hits the right person, hits the right pain points, that's way more important than having, hey John, just noticed that you graduated or that you're from New York, let's go Yankees or something. That's the level of personalization that a lot of people use. So we want to keep it relevant instead of using a lot of personalization, and we get, I'll get into it later, but we are getting a lot of good results, outstanding results with not doing any personalization and just being relevant, making sure that your message hits the right pain points for the right person in the right like moment and at the right time, essentially. So that is the first one. That correlates with your targeting. So like I mentioned, you need to ensure that, like, a lot of people do outreach and send, let's say, 10K emails to the same people, like same messaging to different markets. They wonder why they don't book any results from those messages or from that outreach. I don't know why they don't know why they are not getting results, because let's just take an example where you're the CEO of a company and you have specific goals. Those could be growing your revenue, those could be building your team, those could be driving the strategy and the vision of the company itself. That is vastly different than what, for example, your HR director within the company has, because he or she will be responsible for HR related stuff. And if we send the same message to those two people, then it hits nothing, essentially. It might hit some pain points or whatever, but it's not, you can't segment it well, and you can't hit like the exact pain points that someone is dealing with and like lean into the goals and the desires that they have with your messaging. So usually a lot of people are like, okay, we're gonna send, let's take that 10K again as an example, we're gonna send 10K emails and we'll definitely get results from that because we're reaching out to 10K people. Why wouldn't someone reply? But what you see is that if you go really deep on segmenting, targeting, making sure that your copy hits the right person at the right time with the right message, you only have to send like 100. We had campaigns where we'd send, I think it was 76 emails and book 13 meetings from one campaign, which is like, that's exceptional. That's not the standard at all, but it's doable when you go really deep on like these core principles. So that is our view on like what is the bare minimum to actually do within your outreach to even be able to succeed. I kind of covered segmentation already, but that's just making sure that, for example, also your industries, that you know that, like, if you take software development as a niche, for example, that's just like the bigger term for the entire market, but you have web app development, you have website development, you have application development, you have a lot of different sub niches within there, and then you can go even deeper. So you can do software development companies that primarily do web development and that help businesses increase business performance, for example. That's a really deep sub niche, and if you go that segmented, your results will be way better than just doing software development overall. So I kind of want to get into some really bad examples. I took these from my LinkedIn inbox and from a few of our clients, just to give you some examples. And I'll run you through why I think these are really bad. It kind of hurts my feelings to read these. But this one primarily stood out to me. This is just, yeah, what do I have to say about this message? Okay, Google, how to pitch Sven and help him with software development. So you're opening, like, we help software development businesses. We don't do software development. So, like, what? Yeah, that targeting is off. And then how to pitch Sven, that's not an opener for a cold email message. Greeting from Ukraine. Yes, we're still alive. Yeah, this is... I don't even know. I don't even think I have to break this down on why this is bad. And then he finishes with just chat over a beer. You are trying to get new relationships going and trying to get, because that's the goal of these outreach messages. It's not to pitch someone over a message. It is to spark some sort of interest in what you have to offer and into the relationship that you are trying to build. So no, we are not going to chat over a beer. That's like the most ridiculous call to action. It's so bad. It's so bad. Another one. Let's just take this one. This came from our one of our clients, his LinkedIn inbox. We're a paid advertising agency based in LA, specializing in helping software organizations scale their acquisition efforts. Not a good opener, but it's not as bad as this one. I came across BigWave Software helping national field service teams work 25% more efficiently by centralizing work, eliminating meetings, and getting rid of spreadsheets on Crunchbase. Who on earth is going to write that as a message? What is going wrong here is that it automatically fills the LinkedIn company name of our client in that message. No one is going to reply to a message like that because you can immediately see that it's automated and that you haven't put like any thought or effort into that message overall. This one, this is a first message. He is throwing out his pricing in the first message. Hope you're doing well. No, you don't hope that I'm doing well. You don't care how I'm doing. You're just trying to sell me something. Are you currently happy with your current design or development partner? You can't be this upfront. This is not I don't even have to explain because you probably get why this is really bad. And his call to action is, please advise. Do you have some time this week for a 10-minute conversation? Please advise. Okay, so let's play along with the messages above and just think through the process that they will implement after. Let's say I reply to this message and hop on a 10-minute meeting with him. What would happen on that meeting? He is probably going to pitch me immediately from the get-go, just straight pitching me, same like this guy. Like they are going to throw all of this is who we are, this is why we're good, this is what we do, blah 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 to my face without even understanding what I'm looking for or what I actually need, and find out if I'm in a place to invest, find out if this is the right moment. It will just be, and you are probably familiar with the process after messages like this because usually a lot of people have come across people like these. So this is just really bad. So if you are currently doing, or if you work with someone that is currently doing outreach in this way, then fire them, stop all campaigns, please stop your efforts, because this is just ruining your name within your target market. A few tools to use. I think it's good to give these away. Let me quickly pull this up here and I'll give you some insights into what each individual tool is. We have Ocean, and by the way, I shouldn't be giving this away for free because this is we've put months and I wouldn't say close to 100,000, but thousands. Ocean alone is over 20K a year. So we have put a lot of money and time into finding out what the best tools in the markets are to get great results with outreach. So Ocean, to kick off, this is within this tool, if you're familiar with Facebook lookalike audiences, Ocean is a tool that does the same, but then for websites. So within Ocean, you can insert a company URL and you can play around with what is the relevancy of different companies, and it will basically, based on AI, it will look for companies that match what you do in a like on a very granular level. So you can play around with low relevancy, medium, high, very high, and by doing that you can, for example, take one of your case studies, your best case studies, throw their website into Ocean, set it to high relevancy, and then like play around with the filters in terms of employee size, where companies need to be located, etc. And it will automatically search for companies that are like very similar to your best case study. And then from there on, you can take these, throw them into Apollo, and Apollo is a tool where you can actually like get people's data from. So a lot of people hate tools like these. I personally don't really mind because like email privacy is not a thing anymore. And Ocean will give you like the names of the company. Then you throw the names into Apollo, and Apollo will give you all of the contact info that you need. Then on top of that, to prevent that we are going to make mistakes like getting or inserting the entire company LinkedIn URL name, we use something called Lead Formatter, which is a tool that will automatically detect like what is the actual company name and what is, because a lot of companies have stuff like this in their company LinkedIn name, and you need to eliminate that and format it into something that looks written by a human. So it will, for example, it would have converted this just into BigWave software, just how anyone would type it when you are actually reaching out to someone. SmartLead, that is the tool that we use to actually send emails, which is by far the best tool on the market at the moment in terms of functionalities, automations, API integrations, whatever it might be, they have it all, and it's by far the best on the market. I won't go into it any deeper. Just trust me on that. On top of that, I want to go into a few scripts and compare the differences with what people send to me and clients and what we use within our outreach. So the first one, hey John, having worked with multiple CEOs and founders of software development companies, I know how hard it is to forecast development capacity and revenue due to selling to existing market demand. Would you mind if I share a detailed plan on how you never have to rely on networking or market demand again? Signature, this plan helped one of our clients, Index Software, go from 0 to 137K in outbound revenue within 60 days, which allowed them to increase their development capacity. This is so different than what I went through in the start, because this, it just blows my mind that people send messages like this. But this shows like we only send this to CEOs and founders of software development companies. So that's the first point of actually being relevant. So whenever someone like checks his phone, sees this notification, having worked with multiple CEOs, okay, after having worked with, what have you found out? Like what's the deal here? My bad. I know how hard it is to forecast development capacity. That is something that happens like very frequently, and that is a big pain point for CEOs and founders of software development companies. This campaign, for example, I don't know the exact numbers, but we're not sending this to CEOs of, companies with 300 employees, because you are not going to reach the CEO of a company that big. A founder, definitely not. Usually the founder isn't doing anything active in the business if it's that size. So like the sweet spot for a campaign like this would be anywhere between 15 and 40 employees or something, where a CEO and founder is still actively engaged in the daily operations and actually like knows what's going on and is responsible for growing the business. So then that would be a relevant pain point. On top of that, I'm not asking for, can I get 10 minutes of your time, or can we get a beer or whatever. I'm proposing to them that I have outlined a value asset in which I outline how to never rely on networking or market demand again. So you need to make sure that your asset is good, and we create all of these assets for our clients and of course for ourselves as well, so that you can actually leverage these within your outreach. So this is a value-driven approach where you send this over. I will show you how this looks within our overall sales process. So what happens? You have a cold email in this instance, and from that cold email, what everyone tries to do is cold email to discovery, initial call. On there, I'm going to get pitched. I'm not going to buy. No one is. So you go from cold email to a dynamic sales and marketing asset, which could be something like this plan. Or it could be, I've put together some information on how we help TNL at 1.57 million in revenue, etc., etc. So it's a breakdown of a case study showing value, ensuring that people can actually identify with, am I similar to TNL? Do I struggle with the same pain points? How do they solve it? What was the outcome? What was the aftermath of actually going through a process like that? So within these assets, these will build trust and authority on autopilot without you having to speak to those business owners or to those prospects. Because what usually happens, on average, you need around 7 hours of contact time to get people to a level where they are even like okay with buying from your company. If you go straight from cold email to discovery, then okay, and this is a 10-minute call, and after 10 minutes of contact time, you are going to pitch me your services, which is, blow my mind, of course, not going to work. So with these assets, you send them over to like a sales letter or a case study breakdown or whatever kind of asset we are leveraging. And what we do is we kind of create, instead of a usual funnel where people fall in the top and then like it's either you go down to the bottom or you drop out of the funnel, we create a more spider web funnel where it's like once you get caught in it, like there's no way out. All sides is just, it's covered. Every asset like loops to another one. The sales letter goes to a case study breakdown. Within the case study breakdown, we have a resource video. Within that resource video, we have another link to whatever kind of assets that we are going to leverage. So from there on, it's, and then you retarget people with retargeting ads. So it's an endless loop essentially. As soon as someone like gets caught by the spider web, there's no way to escape it, to put it in that way. From there on, yeah, that's not really interesting. I've made a detailed video on the remainder of the sales process, which it would be a waste of just quickly going through this. So I'd suggest to check that out if you want any advice on like removing yourself as a founder or seniors in the business from the sales process itself and our overall view on a software development sales process. So yeah, I think that yields a good result or overview of like the results that you can get from your outreach. And I think it also clearly outlines what you definitely shouldn't do within your outreach. Something that you can add as well, share this to like your current partner or the ones running your outreach. Implement spin text, which is it auto rotates the message or the text within these brackets, so that will increase your delivery. Another small tip that you can implement. So I hope you took away some value from this video. I definitely think it is very valuable for a lot of companies. If you think like this is way too much of my time, I'm not interested in implementing this myself, and would like to get any advice or help with doing this, then feel free to reach out. Happy to jump on a call if you qualify for what we do. Then we'll check if we can actually help you. So that's it for today. I am looking forward to seeing you in a new video. Thank you.